Hyundai is out with the all-new Verna. The 2023 Verna is unlike no other sedan in its class. And from the get-go, it wins you over with its design, futuristic looks, a lot of features on board. It's got a lot of high-end tech on board as well. Amazing safety systems, level 2 ADAS, you name it. You know, Hyundai has really packed this one. They're looking at getting a solid chunk of the sedan segment, and you know it's going up against the formidable Honda City, and of course you've got the Volkswagen Group twins, the Slavia and the Virtus, which have sort of reignited the sedan segment when they came in last year. So the work for the Verna is definitely cut out, but as a product it is something that does delight. It is something that does win you over. I've been spending the day out here with the Verna variants, and you've got two of them, namely the 1.5 you know, that turns out 115 PS of power, and then you got the 1.5 turbo that does about 160 PS of power. So yeah, Hyundai is not really leaving any stone unturned. They've done away with diesels, so you don't get any diesels in this segment anymore. Honda's done away with their diesels, Volkswagen and Skoda have done away with their diesels, and now Hyundai has joined the party. So it's all petrol in this segment, and it's a pretty solid place to be. But we're going to be talking about the all-new Verna in this video. I'm Vikram Gore, you're watching MotorScribes, and we're going to be taking you through what the Verna is all about. To start with the design of the all-new Verna, you have to admit that it's got the looks that do grab your attention. They demand your attention. Every angle that you look at this car from is absolutely striking. I mean, we have not seen this level of design commitment in this segment, and it is a head turner for sure. Let me tell you that pictures just don't do justice to how good looking a vehicle the new Verna is. When you see it up close and personal, and you get to admire all the attention to detail, that's where it really comes out. But you know, speaking of which, up front, obviously the most sought after element that everybody wants to know more about is that strip of light that runs across the entire front. Hyundai is calling it the Horizon LED, and then it's flanked by the DRLs on either side, and it looks absolutely stunning when it lights up. At night, even more so, gives the car an almost spaceship-like appeal. And then of course you've got all the treatment to the surfaces, the character lines that are brought out. The bonnet has these nice character lines on it as well that are very reminiscent of the new Sonata that's come out. But again, it shows that Hyundai is following a family look. They're keeping their design, you know, on point with all these elements, and that really brings it out over there. Lower down, you've got the black chrome parametric grille, which again looks striking, gives the car a very upmarket appeal, and also resonates well with those who are looking for something that has a sporty outlook as well. So right up front, looking at it head on, you can tell it's more than just your average sedan. There is a hint of sportiness to it. There's a lot of styling that has gone into it. And as you move around to the side, you can see those surface lines again, you know, great chisel look. Towards the rear, you can see that it's more pronounced in terms of the way the design stands out. The car rides on 16-inch alloys, which fill the wheel well really nice. They're very much in proportion to the rest of the body. So that is again another element that you can see that Hyundai has paid a lot of attention to when it comes to design and making sure that the proportions look good. So when you look at the glass house, and then you've got that brake with the chrome insert that runs along the sill, and then you've got the door panels which have all that surface you know, sculpting happening over there. So all of that brings out the appeal. So even when you view the car from the side, you can see its size, you can see that it's a pretty big car, and it is also extremely proportionate. So keeping proportions right is all about aesthetics, and they've nailed it with the new Verna. As you move to the rear, and I will tell you that I like the way the rear looks even more than the front, and that's saying a lot for that. So you look at it from a rear three-quarter sort of view, and you can see that Hyundai has gone with this fastback design. So the rear glass flows seamlessly into the trunk lid. It's the same angle and gives the car a very sporty premium look when you look at it from this angle. Of course, the rear isn't flat. Hyundai has given it a lot of treatment over there in terms of making sure that there's edges. It's extremely edgy, extremely futuristic looking. And of course, the highlight being the parametric connected LED tail lamps. So the tail lamps themselves look absolutely stunning, and then you've got that light beam that runs across the entire back. So that again brings out that element with the Verna. So of course, when it comes to design, getting the surfaces right, getting the aspect ratio right and the proportions right is very important. And it looks like Hyundai has done a fantastic job on this. And to add to that, they've offered the Verna in a range of colors that look, that bring out these design elements even more so. So it's a very high-end paint job. I love the red. It's very striking. It's one of the few red sedans out there that is actually very, very, very appealing. And it's bright, it's lively, and it gels well with that whole turbo persona that you will get it on. I will talk about the engine options on the Verna in a bit. It is such a stunning looking vehicle. You really can't take your eyes off of it. And just seeing it on the road, having spent time with it, I can tell you that it turned a lot of heads even when I was out on the drive. So as enticing as the design is, once you get seated inside the new Verna, let me tell you that it's even more enticing. I think the cabin is like nothing out there in the segment. It looks futuristic, it looks premium, it's got this really upmarket feel. There's a lot of tech on board, there's a lot of stuff to play around with, buttons and tools for you to use rather easy. You've got voice commands to control a host of features, and it works without the internet. And you're also won over by the fact that you've got a ton of space on board. Even a big guy like me feels like he's got enough room around him. The rear, the leg space, fantastic. Headroom is great. I think Hyundai has really done a great job in terms of stretching the dimensions of the Verna over its predecessor and ensuring that any grouse that a customer might have had in the past with the Verna is now taken care of. So you've got a spacious, plush, upmarket cabin that looks like it's from a segment or even two above where the Verna is priced at. So yes, I'm talking about it competing with some entry-level luxury cars that are out there. You know them, the ones which have all the German names. And this thing could actually give some of them a run for their money. Of course, you're getting it at a price point that is quite phenomenal, and Hyundai has really left no stone unturned when it comes to convenience features on board with the Verna as well. Just as exciting as the design is, the exterior design that is the cabin. You get inside the Verna and you're greeted with something that looks futuristic. It looks very upmarket. It's got a nice premium look and feel to it. And obviously taking center stage is the dual screen all digital interface that you get up front. So one screen for the driver information display where you get your odometer, tachometer, a host of other information that you can scroll through. And then you've got the larger screen, which is your infotainment unit, which comes with your connected CarPlay, Apple CarPlay, your Android Auto, and all of that jing-bang. Of course, for your sound output, Hyundai's made sure that they've done a great job here because they give you an 8-speaker Bose audio system, and that ensures that you get the right amount of sound. And since I have started off with all the tech on board over here, the other fantastic touch that Hyundai has done which is also about saving space and keeping with the aesthetics, as well as giving you that little bit of a futuristic premium feel, is that easy toggle between your air conditioning control as well as the infotainment system control that sits in the center of the console. And just at a press of a button, you can toggle between AC controls and your infotainment controls. It's very intuitive to use. I thought it might be something that would be a little bit more challenging, but it's actually very intuitive and switches over seamlessly. And the dials change their purpose. Buttons appear depending on what mode you're on. So whether it's temperature control or volume control, just at the toggle of a switch, and there you go. So I thought that was a very neat touch. Of course, Hyundai being Hyundai has ensured that there's wireless charging on board. You've got a host of power outlets on board. Even at the rear, you get rear AC vents as well as power outlets to charge devices, which is very important in today's day and age, because I think every single person on board is either carrying one or maybe even two devices. So it is very handy. There's a lot of storage also within the cabin. And a nice large glove box. You've got the center armrest, which has storage space as well. And the doors have nice large pockets. So that's again a welcome touch to the car. With the new Verna, what Hyundai has done is that they have increased its dimensions over the predecessor. So that's freed up a lot of space. So when you're seated in the front, you feel like you're in a very nice, plush, open space. The little sunroof adds to that feeling of openness as well. And if you're in the back, again, because the wheelbase has been extended, a tall person like me can easily get in the back seat, and my knees don't even touch the front seat. So that's how much legroom you get back there. Despite the sloping roofline, what you do get is ample headroom. And I won't say it is top-notch, but it is more than ample even for tall people. I don't think that there are too many people out there who are going to complain about the headroom in the back seat of the Verna. You get brilliant seats all around, very comfortable. They feel very upmarket. The cushioning is great. The padding is phenomenal. So they've done a great job in space allocation and giving you that sense of airiness, premiumness, and of course, bringing in enough tech and connected features on board to keep you very entertained as well. For those who like to play around with the mood lights, there's a host of options there. I think there's 64 different ambient light selections you can go for. And that again changes the appeal of the cabin to a large extent. And I think it's a welcome touch. I've actually always enjoyed ambient lighting in the cars that do offer it. So it's great to see it on the Verna as well. Speaking of engine options that the new Verna comes with, Hyundai has done away with the diesel, so there's no longer a diesel variant out there. What you do get is two petrol engine options. Both of them displace 1.5 liters, but they are worlds apart. To start with, you get the 1.5 liter MPI petrol. This one does about 115 PS of power and has 144 Newton meters of torque. This engine will be paired with either a 6-speed manual or the intelligent variable transmission, Hyundai's version of a CVT unit. So this is one engine option that's out there. The other one, and I'm quite sure that a lot of people who are very excited about why is Hyundai calling this car ferocious? Well, this answers that question. And this one is a 1.5 liter turbo GDI unit, which delivers 160 PS of power and 253 Newton meters of torque. So when you look at it in terms of plain specs, it is an extremely powerful unit. And I'll get down to talking about how these engines feel under the hood, because I did get to drive both of them. So it was great to experience both engines. But having said that, the turbo unit is available with either a 6-speed manual transmission, or you can get it with a 7-speed DCT. So, you know, that's what you get in terms of the performance and the engine tech and specs with the new Verna. But to drive it is a whole different ballgame. You know, I've started to realize that just going by numbers on paper is actually not as relevant as it is, you know, when you actually experience what the vehicle's about. Because the numbers can say one thing, but when you get behind the wheel and you actually experience what each engine has to offer, it's a whole different ballgame. Because it's very hard to sort of imagine what is 160 PS, say, over 150 PS. Like, how much difference does that 10 PS make? But over here, you've got the 115 PS MPI, which I drove first. And this one I happen to have with the IC, with the intelligent variable transmission. So I started out and it was surprisingly peppy. You know, I thought it would be a little bit more sluggish. I thought it would not give me that joy that the turbo would, you know, offer. But I was very wrong. I was so wrong that I actually enjoyed going up and down the expressway with this. I really enjoyed the way that the transmission works so seamlessly. I've driven other CVTs before, and they have this rubber band effect, which is not there in the Verna. It's actually quite a smooth drive. It's quite responsive and a lot of fun as well. And it got me thinking that maybe this would be the version that a lot of people would go in for. Because if out and out acceleration is not your thing, if you were looking for something that's more than capable, but you're not so worried about a 0 to 100 time, you know, you can definitely go in for the 115 PS, you know, 1.5 liter MPI engine, and you will have absolutely nothing to complain about. It's such a composed vehicle. It feels great. That engine is refined and extremely silent. So, you know, I wouldn't be wrong in saying you almost feel like you're in an electric vehicle. That's how silent it is. So that's the MPI over there. And then I did get behind the turbo, and obviously being someone who is a rather enthusiastic driver, I was very excited about how this engine is going to perform, and it didn't disappoint one bit. I had it with the 7-speed DCT, and you also get paddle shifters. So I headed out, found a nice empty stretch of road, and yeah, sure, you know, went through the entire bit of going from 0 to 100, seeing what it's like to go from 30 to 120, you know, different scenarios that you would find. And each and every time, you know, it just puts a smile on your face. The way it just surges forward, the way it shoots forward is something that really wins you over. You just want to push. You really want to take this vehicle out on the twisties. I was imagining myself back home where I've got a brilliant stretch of a ghat road to drive on, and it would just be such a amazing vehicle to have here on the ghats. You know, always keeping you right in that peak of that power band, taking you around corners, and it feels great. I think the steering is responsive, the suspension setup is brilliant. Hyundai has come a long way in ensuring that their vehicles feel engaging to drive. And the 1.5 liter turbo obviously stands out on this front, but the 1.5 MPI is, you know, there's really nothing to complain about over there either. So great choices, great engine options over there. And I've saved a little tidbit for you to share over here, which is the mileage. Now, a lot of people would think that the MPI would be the more fuel efficient option, but I should tell you there's the turbo that actually delivers 20 plus kilometers per liter over the MPI, which does about 19 according to the official test results. So that's an interesting take there. You're getting power, performance, and mileage, you know, with the top-notch, with the top-end turbo engine. So that's really something to ponder about. And I don't know how the market is going to split themselves up and see who goes for what, which model is the one, you know, keeping price aside, what would be the pick of the litter. So, but that's it in terms of performance. Brilliant car to drive, feels great, well appointed, and really nothing to complain about on that front at all. Now, if we have to talk about the tech on board with the Verna, especially when it comes to creature comfort level tech, you do get an electronically controlled driver seat. You've got heated and cooled front seats. You've got the push button start-stop. You've got voice commands that work without the internet. So I think there's 118 voice commands that you can give the car to operate various features within, like opening the sunroof and all of that. And you can do it in multiple languages as well. So that is, again, another touch of class over there that Hyundai has ushered in with the Verna. And with all that tech, it makes driving quite easy. You don't have to take your eyes off the road, and you can get a lot of stuff done where you would otherwise be reaching out for a button or looking at a switch somewhere. So it's great that that has been sorted through with these voice commands. And the fact that they work without the internet means that you'll not be left hanging if you're out on a long road trip somewhere and there's no net connection over there. So it works seamlessly. It's a wonderful bit of tech to have on board, and I think Hyundai has done a great job by introducing it on the Verna. Of course, with great power comes great responsibility, and if you're driving a vehicle in the manner that the Verna performs, you want to ensure that safety is top-notch. So going from the very build of the vehicle, Hyundai has gone all out to ensure that they've used ultra high strength steel and high strength steel in the making of the body in white, making sure that it's rigid enough to handle a lot in terms of impact. It's strong enough to deal with all those facts. But where it truly shines is the fact that it comes with 6 airbags as standard. That's right, Hyundai is offering 6 as standard across the entire range. And they've got about 30 safety features that are there. And then you also get the Hyundai Smart Sense, which is their level 2 advanced driver assistance systems, ADAS for short. So you've got forward collision avoidance assist, forward collision warning, collision avoidance assist with it can even sense pedestrians. It can sense cycles. It'll handle junction turning, so it's sort of looking around the corner as well. You've got blind spot warning, blind spot collision assist, collision mitigation. You've got high beam assist, and then you've also got all the other elements like a lane keep assist, lane departure warning, and smart cruise control with stop and go functionality. So it will stop when it senses the car in front is stopping, and should the car start moving, it'll again pick up and start following that car. So there's a lot of tech on board with this. Smart Sense is something that we saw first on the Tucson, and now we're seeing it on the Verna, and it is definitely cutting edge tech. Of course, other manufacturers have worked with their level of level 2 ADAS, and the one fact that I like about what Hyundai does is that their systems seem to be more in tune with the Indian environment. Because I've driven other cars where, there might be a pedestrian that's really far off. You as the driver know that is not a threat, but the car senses it and feels, and it slams its brakes. So you're not really prepared for that, and that can throw you off. With the Hyundai Smart Sense features, I think they've worked really hard in the Indian environment to ensure that it's not intrusive, but is more of something that assists you and keeps you in check with the way the environment is, yet manages to add that layer of safety to what you're doing. So that is the big one for Hyundai in terms of giving the Verna a one-up over the competition. There's no other car in this segment that comes with this many safety features on board. And the only other cars to offer this ADAS level 2 like features is the Honda City. So that's that for you. So if safety is your priority and you're looking for something that's going to keep you cocooned and safe and do a lot of the thinking for you using a combination of front and rear radar as well as cameras, then the Verna is second to none. So with all that said and done, The Verna is definitely a package that is worth reckoning with. It is something that's a standout product in its segment. And the icing on the cake is the pricing, because the Verna starts from 10.89 lakhs and goes up to 17.38 lakhs. You're looking at a total of about 8 variants out there, and the range spread ensures that there's a model out there for you, something that would give you a lot. Even the standard models have a lot of features on board, and of course the high-end models come with all the techno wizardry on board. So Hyundai has actually played a really brilliant game in terms of pricing as well. So you got pricing, features, looks, performance, and whatnot going for you when it comes to the Verna, which explains why they're so confident about really hitting the ball out of the park and getting the numbers that they want. In fact, at the time of this video going live, the Verna has probably crossed more than 10,000 bookings. So, at the end of the day, what you do get with the Verna is a premium, plush, futuristic sedan that's also about performance. The 1.5 liter, which churns out about 115 PS of power, is no slouch at all. And it is actually quite amazing to drive. And it's been touted to be rather fuel efficient as well. And you've got the 1.5 liter turbo, which sort of takes performance to a whole different ball game. And you can see that Hyundai is definitely targeting those amazing TSI engines that the Volkswagen Group cars have with the 1.5 turbo that they're offering. And it's going to be a battle to see. It's going to be great to see how these two vehicles sort of compete with each other in terms of out-and-out performance. I'd love to see a drag race on that. But to sum up what the Verna is all about, I think when Hyundai has put that tagline out there about it being futuristic and ferocious, they've sort of, you know, in a way, it might sound a little gimmicky, but it is sort of hitting the nail straight on the head. It's a vehicle that does deliver on those factors. It's not something that's a claim, you know. And after having experienced the vehicle, I can tell you that they definitely have a product on their hands that's, you know, got all that in it to really win over this segment. I think the other players have their work cut out. Hyundai has done a great job in terms of pricing on the Verna. You can see what the pricing is right down here. I'm just going to have it run like a ticker. And you can see that the Verna is actually very well priced across the range. And with that, I think it sort of goes along with the Hyundai strategy of giving you a ton of features, a lot of safety, a lot of tech. Their design is now, you know, just phenomenal across their entire range. And the Verna is also second to none on that front. So they've tick-marked just about everything. I think they went through a long checklist. All the designers, all the product guys sat around and sort of decided, okay, we've got this, we've got this, we've got this, we've got this, we've got this. Great, the Verna has everything. And that's what wins you over with it. It's a very easy purchase decision. You're out there looking for something that's fun to drive, luxurious, plush, got all the right equipment on board, safe, comes with level 2 ADAS. You know, the design, it looks brilliant. You can pull up at a 5-star hotel and it will definitely be one of the most striking cars on the driveway over there. So you've got it all, and that's the package that you're paying for. And I think with that, it's a winning formula. So my personal take on it is that the Verna definitely has the capability of dominating this sedan segment. And of course, time will tell. But the fact that it started off with 9,000 bookings within 2 days of launch is definitely testament to the fact that there are a lot of people out there who do agree with me as well. I'd love to hear what you have to say. So do leave a comment, like, share, do all of that for me as well. It's always great to get your insights from what you think about the way that the video has turned out. Is there something that I missed out? Is there any more information you would like that I could help you with? So do leave a comment behind. Do let me know what you thought of the Verna from this video, and what you do think, how they're going to hold up in the market. And leave out the brickbats. I know that people like to be rude on the internet, but it's my request that yes, mistakes can be made. There can be queries, questions, all of that, but keep it civil. I love hearing your feedback, and I do respond to each and every one of the comments that I do get, and that's a promise from me. So I'll do my best to answer your questions, and I do look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in to MotorScribes, and as we grow our YouTube channel, and we're out there trying to bring you some great automotive content. So keep tuning in and hit that subscribe button so that you keep getting the latest updates and notifications when we do put something new out.